Hello, my beautiful friends. My name is Dobby, covered in floss, and this is my channel with Struggle With Me this time. Why struggle with me? Because for my Stitch With Me today, I decided to choose this amazing piece of art that is commonly known as a stitching shelf artwork by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And of course, I am not of the faint of heart, so I have the supersized max color version that has millions of colors in there, and millions of colors in a cross stitch pattern mean what? Confetti galore. So yeah, I decided that this is going to be a perfect idea to do Stitch With Me with that. And I already started. I just did about like 15 stitches somewhere there in here. But then I lost the ability to speak and I decided that I need to start again. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, but I decided that I need to do it today because unfortunately no, I cannot say that unfortunately, the weekend is going to be super busy for me and I still need to do my normal floss tube update. So today is Thursday, the 29th of August, and this is like the last day that I can do that. Tomorrow I will try to do my normal update, to film my normal update, so you can see that on the 1st of September. So let's see how's that going to work. That's why today we're stitching on this one, and in my update I'm going to tell you everything about the new plans, new methods, new approaches, and so on. So let's hope that that's going to work. But the new plan slash method is one of the reasons why I chose this specific pattern for today. And but also another reason is that this is definitely a pattern or like stitching that is going to last me a lifetime. And today I wanted to tell you, finally, I was teasing you with that for quite some time. I'm going to tell you a story how I met my boyfriend. And I really hope that he's also the one that is going to stay a lifetime. So I thought that it would be fitting. So yeah, I think that we can just stitch together on that. Let's see how annoyed I'm going to get with the confetti and just changing the thread and the colors and so on. And I truly hope that you will be able to follow my stitching and my story as well. So let's see. But I already just checked and I decided that if I get like too confused with everything, there is a gorgeous column of black in here that I can go with. So if I cannot keep up with just like changing colors, I'm just going to take my faithful 310 and just stitch the column while talking. So yeah, basically, if you follow my journey from the beginning, you definitely heard a lot of mentions of my boyfriend, because he is a pretty integral part of my hobby. He's a huge supporter of all my whips and all my new starts and so on, even though he has no interest in cross stitch in general. Of course, he has interest in the finished product, but with my patterns, I think he will need to wait. But he can understand the power of hobby in one's life. So yeah, this is something that he, I can say, likes about me, that I have this my thing that gives me so much joy. And it gives him lots of joy when I say that, for example, I am at the moment on a ban of buying new patterns. Oh, he laughed so hard. But so far, it's been, what, 2 weeks, I think, and I haven't gotten a new pattern. You see? It's going well. So let's see. But, yeah, how we met. How I met my boyfriend. So, we've been together now for 3.5 years. And I met him at the moment when I completely swore off dating men and basically everything. Or let's say serious dating. I was a woman in my prime. But the details of that would be for Stitch With Me or Floss Tube after hours for sure. So, yeah. Okay, but I think that I'm done with this color. Just need to mark everything. So, it was 2021. And of course, we were all still in the midst of lockdown and so on. Let me just take a sip of my water. Because I will be talking a lot today, so I need to take care of a proper throat and mouth lubrication. So it was 2021, lockdown after lockdown, and I was pretty fresh after a massive breakup. And basically, I definitely, one thing that you can say about me is not that I was lucky in love. But maybe saying lucky in love, sorry, just like I'm taking the next color. So of course I need to just like move all my boxes with the master set and so on. And of course the box that I need is at the very bottom of everything. I need to just find the system for that. Oh my god, sorry for all the sounds. So I don't know if I can just like even say that I was lucky or unlucky in love, because it was all my choices. So I think that it is not a matter of luck, but it's more a matter of like the conditioning through my life, that's in my head created a kind of picture of what and who I deserve. But that's a completely different story. So yeah, I was after a breakup and I was just like, no, I'm not going to try meeting anyone. I'm going to live my life alone, happily ever after, on my own, with my own stuff. So I was doing that. And I was just like enjoying myself, finally just putting a lot of time and effort into myself, into my needs, not anyone else's. And at that time I was doing German classes, one-on-one with a girl who it was just before Valentine's Day, and she was just like, okay, so I'm going to give you some homework. You need to do something romantic in German. You should have heard me laughing, because somehow romantic in my vocabulary is a very much not existent. And if you think about German in general, it's not the first language that you would think when you are thinking about romantic things. But okay, homework is homework. We need to do homework. We're a good girl. So I was just like thinking, and I was just, what can I do? So of course, I was okay. Let me just check what is happening on the dating apps. I downloaded Tinder, but I was just like, no, I used to be on Tinder and I don't want to get back to that. It's just like, nah. So it went away, but I was just, okay, let's try Bumble. This is the one when the girl can make the first contact and so on. So it's kind of safer / nicer, if you can say that about any of the dating apps and basically dating world in general. So I downloaded that exactly on the 14th of February 2021. And I was browsing. I think that I downloaded the app around 8. And I think it was like 8:20 in the morning. That I saw a profile that kind of caught my eye. Because the guy seemed normal. Just a normal guy. And I was just like looking at his photos. And there was one photo where I saw his eyes. He had the bluest, the kindest eyes I've ever seen. And it was the reason why I decided to swipe in the right direction. I don't remember now, it was swiping right, I think. I did, and suddenly it was a match. Okay, it was a match. So I was okay, I was quick. And I was just like, I didn't know what to do, how to do everything and so on, but I was, okay, I'm just going to start. If that's on me at the moment, I'm going to send this first message. I completely don't remember what I wrote. I have no idea, but apparently it was something that caught his interest. In addition to, of course, my gorgeous, gorgeous face in there. And he replied. And it was just like so funky. Because it was like a normal conversation with a normal guy. And if you ever ventured into the world of dating apps, you know that it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. There is nothing normal there. If you have a different experience, lucky you. I have to tell you that it's just like, basically with my dating app adventures, I was super lucky because I met amazing people. With some of them, I stayed kind of friends for a longer time and so on. So, yeah, it was really, really nice for me. But it's just like, I never expected to find anything resembling a relationship on a dating app. Meeting interesting people, yes, but nothing about dating. So, but with him, it was easy and it was just nice and normal. And I'm going to really stress the word normal here, because that was I think something that really hit me. Okay, now it's just coming back to stitching for a moment. This method that you are seeing is called Drunken Rabbit, because I am hopping with my thread from one side to another, because I don't see myself just like snipping my thread and starting somewhere new. So I carry my thread as much as I want and wherever I want. So yeah, that's the method if you wanted to know. So yeah, this kind of normalcy was super important for me, and we were just chatting, but it wasn't like we had a constant contact. We exchanged a few messages here, few messages there, nothing super intense and so on, easy. And after a few days of talking on Bumble, I was just like, okay, I think that I did my homework. Let's say that it was something romantic. So I was ready to leave the dating app world once again. And I asked him if... I told him that I'm going to leave Bumble, but I would like to stay in touch. And if he's okay with moving to WhatsApp. I gave him my number. I basically gave him my number, and soon after I deleted the app. I'm not even sure if I was sure that he got my number and so on. But we started talking on WhatsApp then, and it was just, again, like a completely normal thing. And it was like a good morning in the morning, wishing each other a good day, chatting a bit in the evening about how our days went, and that's it. And can you imagine, it's just like, I know that the standards are super low, but I was extremely surprised that we were talking for some time and the guy doesn't want to show me his junk, is not venturing into like any kind of dirtier kinds of conversations. So I found him fascinating. But the way we were just talking, I was just like, I am not sure if the guy is even interested. But it's just like, okay, I decided that I'm going to live for myself. So if I want to see what's going on, I'm going to risk. So after a couple of days more of chatting, I asked him what he's doing on the 28th of February. Because if he has no plans, that was Sunday, if he has no plans, if he would like to come over to my town, and we can just like meet and chat. So he replied that gladly that he doesn't have any plans, but he needs to check because his grandma is in a nursing home that, of course, during COVID and so on, they had super strict rules, and he needed to check if like the visitors are allowed again, because of course if he could visit his grandma, that would be the priority. And I was shocked. Not only he was like completely open, but he didn't have any issues with telling me that, yeah, that's okay, but grandma is the most important for him. And I was just like, you are different. So it already just like tugged on my heart a bit. But of course I was a strong woman that didn't need a man in her life. Still doesn't have one, but could survive without. No, I already told him that if anything happens that would make us break up, I'm just going to find a flat where the owner would allow me to move in with 11 cats, because this is going to be my future. Yeah, but coming back to that, so I asked him if he would like to come over. I lived at the time in a small town, and my flat was just by the lake. Gorgeous lake. And that was a very, very strange time then, because this February was so extremely warm, at least the second part of February. So I invited him when we were just talking about that, like I think 2 days before. The temperatures were so high that basically our ice cafe, so like the place with amazing Italian ice cream, was already opened in February, where normally they were opening only, I think, at the end of May. Not sure at the moment. But yeah, so I invited him for a walk and ice cream. And it turned out that he would be able to come. I was so super stressed. I was really, really stressed because it was supposed to be my first date in forever, where basically I didn't have any expectations. It wasn't leading to anything. We were just to meet and spend some nice time together. That's it. So I was super, super stressed, but when he asked where we are meeting, I asked him if he just like wants to park at my place. He can just like jump upstairs, and then I'm just going to put on my shoes, my jacket, and so on, because it was still February, and we can go. And I have to tell you that I was nervous before, but the moment I saw him on the corridor, just like walking towards me and smiling at me, like all the stress went away completely. I truly felt that he is a different guy. He's like a really good guy. It's just like, I am highlighting that so much, but he's a really good guy. And the funny thing is that before we met, he told me that he's just like, he is super shy. He's extremely shy. And it may be that he's going to be pretty quiet. But I told him that, no worries, because I am talking for 4 people, not only 2 people. So there is definitely not going to be any moments of silence. So he arrived, I just like hugged him, and it was just so good. So nice. And we went for a walk. We went for ice cream, and of course I did a very Dobby thing. So I invited him for ice cream, and when I was packing my bag to go, I packed absolutely everything apart from my wallet. Yay. So I was just like, I felt so bad, and I was just like, I'm really sorry I invited you for ice cream, and it wasn't like a trick to get you into paying for this ice cream. But yeah, poor guy needed to pay for that. Because it's me. But we were just like walking and talking, and the conversation was just flowing. It was so easy to talk to him. He listened, and it wasn't that he pretended to listen. He really listened, and he asked questions, and he was talking himself and so on. So all his like warnings beforehand that he's going to be super quiet were for nothing. And basically we went for this walk, a very long walk. We chatted a lot and so on, and afterwards I asked him if he just like, when we were just coming back towards my place, I asked him if he wants to just like come upstairs for just something to drink. And we kept talking. And we talked and talked and talked. And basically, he said that, yeah, he's just going to be slowly going back home. So we stood in the middle of my living room and talked for the next 3 hours, standing there, because we just couldn't stop. And altogether, during our first date, we spoke for basically 7 or 8 hours straight. And it was just flowing. There were no moments of uncomfortable silence. There wasn't any kind of moments where I felt that I have the tendency when it's quiet, I have the tendency to volunteer somehow, to fill in the empty space there, because I hate when other people feel uncomfortable. But it wasn't needed. We were just talking, and we started getting to know each other from that very first meeting. But again, the guy was just so nice, and at some point he asked me if this is okay that he calls his grandma now, because they have like a standing appointment, and if they cannot see each other, they connect over phone or over Skype. And he called grandma. He was just like, yeah, I'm on a date with you, but grandma is important. And just like, I didn't know yet at that moment, but I was melting already. So yeah, that was a really, really lovely day. He went home, and that was it. We're just like, you know, we spoke, we hugged at the end, and he went home. He let me know when he got home. We're just talking about what he was cooking for dinner and so on. And then we were just like chatting further. The conversation didn't finish then, and I was laughing that he's just like, so he told me that he's so super shy, that he's so super quiet, but basically I had issues with just getting my word into, so he was just like laughing that, yeah, apparently I made him very comfortable, so he didn't have issues with that. And that was just so super sweet. So we were just talking that we can meet the next week. And for the next week, it was just like, remember, it was the beginning of March then. For next week, I decided that if the weather is still so gorgeous, we're going to have a picnic. Because, as I told you, I lived just by the lake, really. From my place, I just needed to cross a pavement, and I was on the beach. So I decided that I'm just going to get like a proper blanket and prepare some food, and we can have a picnic. And the weather was gorgeous throughout the whole week. Of course, the weekend came, the weather was crappy. But as I had everything prepared, everything planned, he arrived, and I was just like, okay, we're having a picnic. We're having a picnic in the middle of my living room. So I put the blanket down, I put everything out that I prepared, and we were just sitting on the floor of my living room and talking. And again, it was again 6 or 7 hours that we basically talk all the time. And it's just like, it never happened to me before that I felt so at ease with a guy who was just like completely my type. It's just like, I mentioned his eyes, but this guy is super handsome. I am lucky. He looks like I would show you a picture, but he is fiercely private, and there are absolutely no pictures of him anywhere and so on. But believe me, he is super handsome. He looks as, he's taller like 20 centimeters than me, so he has like almost about 8 inches over me. He has a ginger beard, he's bald, and he basically could play in Vikings or something. And he has super broad shoulders. Oh my god. As you can hear, after 3.5 years, I am still obsessing over this guy. So yeah, that was the first time in my life in general that I felt so comfortable with a guy that totally was my type. And the thing was that I felt that we are becoming friends from this beginning. At the beginning, really, there weren't like the sparks flying or anything. I just felt safe. I felt safe and comfortable, and I simply felt good. And, you know, sitting with a guy that you see for the second time in your life, you're sitting on your floor, eating food that you can eat with your fingers, chatting about basically everything. It was just like a totally new experience. And again, after he needed to get back home, because at that time we also had like the curfew. So after he needed to get home, again, we hugged and he went home. And to be honest, he left me a bit like speechless. I was just like, is this guy even interested? And I know that this is just like, I should have known that he was interested because he was basically driving an hour to my place. But still, just like, I didn't know that men who are nice, who are not trying to get into your underwear straight away, do exist. So, especially just like men like him, because, as I said, handsome as hell, lovely as hell, gorgeous eyes, financially stable, mentally stable, no toxic exes anywhere, lovely family, loving his grandma. I was just like, am I dreaming? And I truly thought that I was. I just like, you know, strange COVID dreams. Why not? I can take it at the moment. So after this date, we were just like chatting more over WhatsApp. But then I got sick, because we were mentioning that maybe the next weekend and so on. I got sick, and I was telling him that I don't know how's that going to work over the weekend. It was, I think it was around Tuesday, Wednesday when I told him that I am sick and I'm just like completely down. And he asked me, because he had Thursday off, he asked me if that's okay if he comes over and he cooks for me, because he wanted to make sure that despite me being sick, I had something proper to eat. Can you imagine? Can you bloody imagine? So I was already just like, oh my God, really unicorn. So just like, if you are not afraid that you are going to catch whatever was just like annoying me, and it was like a simple cold, you are free to come. And he did, and he came. We were just like, he was cooking food for me, he brought everything and so on, and it was just like so absolutely freaking sweet. And then we were just because at that time, this flat that they had, of course, as it was just by the lake, it was the tiniest flat that you can imagine. So basically my living room was also my bedroom, and half of the kitchen and the dining room and everything in one place. I was lucky that I had my toilet separately. But yeah, still worth it for the view. So we were just sitting on my bed, eating, chatting on my bed. Just like take your minds out of the gutter. I didn't have a sofa in this flat because there was no space for the sofa, and I had exactly one chair. So yeah, we're just sitting on the bed, chatting and so on. And we earlier when we matched, we kind of bonded over our love to true crime. So again, in true Dobby fashion, I decided, not that I decided, it just came to my mind, but we were talking about some true crime podcasts that we liked, we listened to, and suddenly I just looked the guy straight in the eye, and I was just like, if you were to be eaten by a cannibal, what dish would you like to be? And the moment it just like came out of my mind, I was just like, okay, he's just going to pack up his gear and he's going to go away. Not only he didn't, he answered. He really put some thought into his answer. He was just like thinking for a moment. And then he replied that he would be very, very happy in this situation to be a nice roast. So at that moment, I knew that I met my person, and I wasn't thinking about like anything else, because still, remember, this guy was so nice that I wasn't sure if he's interested. Still, third date. And again, he went home. We hugged. This time we hugged a bit longer. And he went home. And the next date. The longest dates ever. But really, they were long dates because we really couldn't stop talking. There was just like, there was always something to talk about. There were just like new topics coming up. And that was the first time when I didn't feel the need that I need to prove myself in any way. It seemed that he liked me for who I was, because also with this approach beforehand that I said that I am done with guys, I'm done with dating, I also changed my mindset, and I was just like, me, take it or leave it. Yeah, this is the whole package. You see what you get. But I totally didn't know if he was interested in me romantically, or if he just enjoyed having somebody to chat about true crime and so on with, and somebody to ask him strange questions. So our fourth date, we're talking that maybe we can just like watch some movies together, prepare some food together and so on. He came over. We never got to watch anything because we started talking again. And it's just like, that was like a never ending. We just couldn't shut up. We truly couldn't shut up, and that was amazing. But at some point, there was a moment of silence, and I was like, okay, I really fancy this guy. I truly fancy this guy, but I don't know where we stand, if he is interested in anything else than me as like a friend. It's just like, I just want to know. So it was me who kissed him. And he didn't run away. He kissed me back. And we both, just afterwards, there wasn't anything uncomfortable about that. It was just like, yeah, it happened. But I told him that, yeah, I just had to, because I didn't know if he was just like interested in any way, and I wasn't able to just like ask him the question straight. And he started laughing. He blushed a bit, and he told me that probably, even though that he wanted to do that from like basically our second date, if I didn't do that now, we would still be waiting. So yeah, this guy is truly, truly shy. And I was happy that I decided to do that. And basically, this is how like the story started. We were so gentle with everything. There were no rush to take anything into next levels and so on. There were absolutely no need to do things we weren't comfortable with. And thanks to that, everything was just like taking its time in a way that when things were happening, it was a perfect timing. And everything was just like simply amazing. Zero red flags that I had to ignore. I had a tendency to very much ignore red flags from the very beginning. But with him, there were none. Zero red flags. And as I said, a guy who was mentally and financially stable, with lovely, loving family, with 2 cats that I love at the moment. And a guy who was just like good, like really, really good. A unicorn. And after that, things were just like going, I would say, in any different situation in my previous relationships and so on, I would say that was just super, super fast moving, because we kind of went official, let's say, on the 21st of March. This is our just like date that we decided to be ours, which is pretty fitting, like the beginning of spring. Very soon after, I met his mom and the grandma that he loved so much. And basically from the start, I felt like a part of family. It's just when he brought me to his mom, she hugged me, and she was just like so sweet from the beginning. Grandma, oh my god, my Omi, I loved her so much. Unfortunately, she passed away last year, but she was my person. She was my person. His sister, his friends. It was as if I was a kind of missing piece that they were all waiting for. And it went pretty quickly, because quickly for me, after like 2 years, we finally decided that it's enough of waiting, and we moved in together. And it's been a year and a half now that we live together, and that was just like the best decision of my life, because in my life, I never felt that I had roots anywhere. It's a bit of a longer story with my family and so on, but yeah, I never felt that I had my place, and thanks to him, I found my place, and he is my place. He's my place, he's my home, he's my roots. And I never thought that loving somebody this way was possible. Loving so unconditionally. Loving so normally. This is the thing. The word normal is still prevailing, because things that in my previous relationships I was thinking of as something extraordinary, for him it's normal. It's a normal thing that he goes to the shop and he says, like, for example, a good price for, I don't know, a drink that I like or a snack that I like, and he just gets it. It's a normal thing that he sends me memes, pictures, or short videos that he saw and made him think of me. And it's been like 3 years, and it's still happening. And I was made to think that I need to put a lot of work into making somebody love me. But he showed me that it's not true. That I don't need to work for his love, because he loves me as I am, as I come, just the way I am. And that this is what it should be like. I don't need to try being somebody else just because somebody wants me to be different. I can be myself with all the quirks, with all the issues, with all the diagnoses. And he loves me with all of that. He loves me with my virtues and my vices. He laughs at the way I stuck dishes in the dishwasher. He always talks that there is a raccoon doing that. Sometimes he says that this is a raccoon on meth doing that. I just want to pack as much as possible. My system is not compatible with his system, and this is his only problem, I think. We still laugh at the same things. We never laugh at each other, but we laugh with one another. We laugh, we cry, we go through everything together. And during this time, and it just shows how crappy my previous relationships were, but during this time that we are together, not for a second I felt that I was alone, that I need to deal with something alone. He's always there, always. And he's a very much problem solver. So I know that it was very, very difficult for him at the beginning, when I had like the depressive episodes and so on, because he wanted to find the solution, but there is no solution for that. So at the moment he learned that this is enough, that he's just there, and that I don't feel alone. And he does it. He's always there. He always thinks of me. And that is so important. And the thing is that we kind of leaned into this domesticity at the moment together. And the thing is that we have our hobbies, our interests that are not necessarily always the same. And it's never a problem that I want to do my thing, he wants to do his thing, and so on, because we know that even if we are just like in different rooms, we're still together. And very often we do our stuff together but separately. So for example, we sit in one room, he sits with his Lego, I sit with my stitching, he listens to his podcast, I have my audiobook, and we are next to each other doing our separate stuff, but not feeling separate in that. I don't know how to explain that, but the thing is that even separately we're together, we know that there is this other person, even if we're just like in different cities, different countries. I never feel alone. I never feel that I am left on my own, and I truly hope that he feels the same. So this is the thing, that our love language for both of us is like the touch. So even if, I don't know, I'm just like sitting there stitching, he is watching something, we touch, at least like his elbow somewhere next to my knee, or whatever, but we just need to feel each other, just to know that we are together. And thanks to him, I started doing many things that earlier were kind of scary, or I didn't know how to start, where to start, and so on. Sorry, I just need to start. Yeah. So he was supporting me the whole way when I was getting my ADHD diagnosis. He was with me with my psychiatrist changes and all the issues that I was going through. And he said that I can do it. He motivates me to so many things. He motivates me to try. And if that's something new, we try things together. Like, for example, at the moment, we started going to the gym together. I'm saying together because we enrolled together, but we still do that as our own thing. I know that with some couples, it's just like, okay, we're going to the gym together. If one person cannot go, then the other one is also skipping and so on. But with us, it's completely different. We are just, if the other person is somewhere just like on the verge, we try to motivate each other, but we never try to just like push the other person to do anything that they don't want to do, even if this is something that we want to do. So, for example, if I want to go to the gym, he prefers to go biking because he's addicted to biking. Let me just move my camera for a second because suddenly there are ears growing. Hello. I hope that I will manage to get it back to like the same position, kind of. So, if I go to the gym and he prefers to go biking, yeah, that's fine. We can, sometimes we just do that we bike to the gym together, and he just leaves me there at the gym and continues his biking adventures, where I go to the gym, do my training, and then we meet back home. And he motivated me so much to start my floss tube. He was just like, yeah, you really want to do that? Try that, let's see, and so on. At the beginning, he was helping me with editing until I learned how to do it myself and so on. And at the moment, he is laughing so hard with each new start that, yeah, I definitely need to go to the gym and get fit more often because I absolutely need to live forever, healthy and fit to be able to finish all the stuff. So, but yeah, this is the story. It's not the most. This is not like the most exciting story in general, but I would never guess that something that started as my homework became the best thing in my life. And I truly hope that this is the forever and ever, because definitely he is my end goal in life. I never felt so happy with anyone, and I never felt so happy without anyone as well. This is like the best I've ever been, ever felt, and ever dreamt in my life. And I know that this is thanks to him, because He motivates me, he inspires me. And all the way, I always feel that I have this amazing, amazing support. No matter what is happening, I know that he's by my side. And everything is just as it should be. I think that I was super, super lucky. I don't have any kind of like, do I believe in fate? Maybe. I definitely think that things in our lives happen for a reason. And when I think about so many not so good things that I needed to go through in my life, sometimes it is a bit less painful to think about them when I think that all in all, they brought me to the place where I'm at and brought me to him. So, yeah, fiercely private boyfriend, that is my absolutely everything. Together with our two monsters. One monster is just like going over my floss boxes. So if you hear strange sounds in the background, you know the source. It's Peppa. It's Peppa looking for trouble. Because she woke up from her 6-hour nap. And now she needs my attention, probably. So I wouldn't be surprised if she just suddenly started screaming at me. Because, of course, I do everything she wants. She trained me well. But yeah, this is like a very, very simple story about me finding a unicorn and getting back hope that there are still good men in this world. And I hope that I can put myself in the category of good women in this world. So that it's not just like one-sided good deal that I got. Yeah. Now we live together. We travel a lot together. We experience life together. And I can say that life is really good. Thanks to this guy. The only person I know, actually, the only person I know in person that doesn't need therapy. Can you imagine? People like that still exist. So, yeah, I hope that my story didn't disappoint those who wanted to hear that. But definitely without this guy, I wouldn't be brave enough to start with my first video. And it started from there. So, if you like my videos, you can now say, thank you, fiercely private boyfriend. Oh, yeah. Hey, he stopped watching my videos, so he wouldn't hear that anyways. But I guess I'm a lucky girl. Because I met my Viking, who is so reasonable that he helps me feel grounded every day. yeah, so I think that I will be finishing this thread now. Please let me know if you have any questions about the project, about the boyfriend, about any other experiences. Maybe one day I will tell you more about my pre-boyfriend Tinder experiences that are really still truly dear to my heart, because I met so many amazing people, made a few friends, but definitely some of these stories would be for FlossTube After Dark, because there were also some crazy things that I would need to prefix with "don't try this at home." Like meeting a Canadian guy in a dive bar. Oh. He was super nice, and it was a lovely evening. Very spontaneous, and it was like another evening with lots of stories. But yeah, I am very happy that now I'm exchanging all the stories and I am creating new ones with this German guy with the kindest blue eyes I have ever seen, and with the most amazing shoulders I've ever seen as well. And that's good that he's not watching my FlossTubes at the moment, because he would either blush or he would grow a few centimeters for sure. But I will tell him that if he wants to listen to good things about himself, he can just like watch this stitch with me to get some tea about himself. But yeah. Oh yeah, and one important thing, he fell first. We were only recently, we were just talking about something, and I asked him when he just felt that he started falling for me, and it turned out that it was already during our second date. So I am so charming. But yeah, he told me also that nobody before made him feel so comfortable. So that was definitely a mutual feeling, that we just felt easy with the other person. I think that this is important, basically during dates and in relationships, that you feel easy. There is no pretending. You can be yourself, like fully be yourself, and like truly open up without any hesitation, without fears and so on. So yeah, I think that this is going to be my last row of stitches here. There are just like 3 only in this one, and I can stop talking. I probably could be talking for a bit longer, but you are probably bored already and you want to go and get your drink or just do something else with your life, not to listen to me and my sappy stories. Okay, so let me just do my strange thing with this thread, because I have it on my stand, so I cannot flip it over to anchor normally, so I just like do this here, and later I'm just going to cut it. So once again, thank you so much for your time. I really hope that it answered some of your questions about the fiercely private boyfriend just floating somewhere there. He exists. He really exists, even though I cannot show you his picture. Some people saw him, so they can confirm that he truly exists. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, for stitching with me. Let me know what you stitched on today. Together we did 268 stitches on the stitching shelf, so definitely this black part helped a lot. Otherwise we would be still kind of like, floating with like single threads here and there. I still just like didn't find a proper approach to this project. I'm just doing what feels right in the specific moment, so let's see how it goes further. But thank you so much, and we're going to see each other next week then. I truly hope that you have a lot of stitchy time and fantastic weekend and happy Monday. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye.